Alright, so in our past few outdoor videos, plenty of you guys have given me very positive comments, but there's also a few of you that have highlighted that my Singlish is a bit heavy. Then when I went back to listen, I realized that yes, I think a little bit too much. But that's not my natural self. I don't speak in every sentence like Singlish, but I'm also not too sure why I've done that in the past 2 videos. But in this video, I will try to tone down as much as I can. Okay, I'll try to take away like 80%. Right. So what are we doing here today? We are here to talk about frameworks, because if you go online, you'll realize that there is plenty of different frameworks out there. It can be the QPE framework like what I'm using. It can be the SAFE framework. It can be like the 10R, 3R, VAL framework. It can be any framework at all. It does not really matter. And I just want to say this one thing, it's no right, no wrong to it, because it's just the presenter's interpretation of what's right or wrong to buy based on the list of factors that I've highlighted to you. So what you need to do as a consumer is when you go online to consume knowledge, sometimes when there's too many noises or too many opinions, you tend to get a little bit confused. So the best thing you should do is to choose one framework that kind of like best fits your ideology or your methodology in evaluating whether a property is worth buying or not. Then ultimately, no right, no wrong. My first English, okay, number 1. So yes, we will be talking about the QPE framework for those of you guys who have known me long enough. And if you have missed my video 2 years ago, I did a 3-part video on the QPE framework to explain every single circle, right? If you have missed it, then here's the video. I've posted the link in my description. So if you guys haven't checked it out, you can always feel free to go there. But today, I'm going to touch on them again. So what's the QPE framework? The Q is quality, which I will touch on it in a short while. The P is pricing. So pricing is very easy to understand. Pricing per square foot quantum relative to the new launch or resale in the neighborhood itself. Now, exit strategy is a little bit easier to understand. Usually, I focus more on target audiences and the supply-demand factor in the neighborhood itself. Now, I know a lot of people are obsessed with transformation and obsessed with schools. To me, it's always a plus point. But based on my many years of experience doing the resale property itself, then I can tell you that the last 2 points are, as I mentioned, good to have, but not deal breakers. Oh, anyway, for the QPE framework, before I forget, is derived from my close to 15 years of plying my trade in the resale market. So what I'm trying to show you guys is what's likely going to happen in the resale market, because I've realized that entry can be important, but then again, people tend to neglect the exit. So I watch out from your exit in the next 4 to 5 years. So our QPE framework has helped a lot of people or consumers out there to watch out for the downside risk in the market, like where we are right now, where the prices are all-time high. So for our exit strategy, as I mentioned, target audience and supply-demand factor is very important. But today's video is to touch on the circle that people tend to neglect more often than they should. And that is the quality circle. Now, quality circle, I like to break it down into 2 points. The other 2 points I'll share with you guys in a bit. But the 2 important points are, like, if you look for a property, I always believe that the heart of the property is the land size, facilities, and facade. Now, TLDR version, it's very simple to understand. The bigger the land size is, the more developers can build you facilities. And then when there's more facilities, naturally your livability factor rises up, and then people will just enjoy the stay as much as they can. So that to me is the heart of a property. If I'd like to give you an example, and the perfect example that I wish as a consumer is very simple. If you go towards properties like, for example, Newton, right? Newton, to me, is a school zone. So a lot of people go there is meaning to put the kids into the boys' school, ACSS, and SGI. So I always like to use this example because Newton is the perfect example. You have an old development like Park Infinia, very large land size. Price is not cheap. They are both freehold. And then you have the apartments that's located right opposite Park Infinia, which are the Link, the Mirror, and whatnot ever. Those are a little bit newer, but if you put them side by side, identical, they're just across the street, the pricing or the price appreciation differs quite some bit. Then a lot of people don't quite understand why. So this QPE framework answers that question to the dot, right? Because if you look at it, the common denominator is land size, facilities, and facade. What Park Infinia has, it has a very, very big land size. So as I mentioned today, if it's a school zone, naturally you can imagine the buyers will have kids, boys especially. Then when you have kids, you have family, naturally what you are going to be more interested in is also the landscaping, the land size, the facilities. So this is very important. Then when you look at the ones that's opposite, even though it can be newer and it can be cheaper, but the prices just doesn't appreciate as much as the one that's older and is more expensive in Park Infinia. And that answers that now, because as I mentioned, the common denominator here or deal breaker is the land size, facilities, facade, which to me, like as I mentioned, is the heart of any property that you're looking at. But when I say that's a heart of the property, I also like to talk about the soul of the property. And to me, the soul of the property is the layout, right? So layout, you might underestimate that, but when it goes to the resale market, can you imagine you step inside the development, the grounds are very nice, you head out for the viewing, and then you look at the layout, if it's good, congratulations, you as an owner, you can ask for a higher price, but if the layouts are not as good, then naturally the buyers will always think twice and you just give them more reasons to just U-turn back and just look for the next property, right? So for the second point of layout, I also like to use this perfect example, and the perfect example is Commonwealth Tower versus the Queen's Peak. Now, Commonwealth Tower, if I can recall, it's new, actually it's older. Queen's Peak is newer. They are both side by side and they are on top of an MRT in Queenstown, in one of the most sought after neighborhoods in Singapore, mature estate. So if you realize this one thing, even though they are side by side, but their capital appreciation for both properties are vastly different. Now, I'm not saying that Queen's Peak in this instance, or rather, okay, Queen's Peak hasn't been making that much money as compared to Commonwealth Tower. So what is the answer to this question? Is, as I mentioned, it's layout. So if you look at Queen's Peak, it's a 1001 square feet unit. If you look at it, the size, it's okay, it's not that generous, but it's more or less the same type of size that you're going to get in that neighborhood itself. Now, when you come inside the living room, the first red flag is already the open concept kitchen. Now, 3 bedrooms, usually you attract quite a fair bit of families. So usually families, they cook quite some bed, and then you have an open concept kitchen. That's the number one red flag. Okay, so then when you go to the living and dining, it's very normal. And then you head out to the balcony. On the higher floor, you got a very nice view, but the balcony, it's, in my opinion, a tad too big. But sometimes balcony big, it's okay if it doesn't eat into some part of the house. But in this instance, it eats into bedroom number 3 and bedroom number 2. Which means that I always ask this question, if your balcony is a little bit smaller, then this additional space that you can get, just give it to the common bedrooms, right now. Then you look at you see the common bedrooms quite sad. You can only put in like maximum super single. Can you imagine people go inside, they look at the space that is very, very small, then naturally they find it, this is not suitable for me. And then, they don't pay a premium. Then the second red flag, actually this is the second red flag. The third red flag is the utility room. It's a bit too big, because you see the utility room, if you take out the bottom part, it's additional space. Then just give it to the common bedroom 2 and common bedroom 3. Why do you need such a big utility room space, right? Then you look at the master bedroom also, it's okay, it's like the bare minimum. But all in all, really the biggest objection for this layout is mainly the open concept kitchen. Balcony too big, as I mentioned, it's okay, but it comes at the expense of your rooms a bit smaller. Utility room too big, then naturally the results reflect so. Because if you look at the competition just beside, which is Commonwealth Tower, okay, you come inside, there's a bit of a long walkway that you can say some people don't like it. But once you get past the walkway, you come inside the living room area, it's a landscape layout. You have a proper enclosed kitchen in one corner, not too big, not too small. You also got a very sizable utility on one side and the maid's toilet. Now, if you look at the balcony for Commonwealth Tower, it's equally as big also. So I also can say, hey, if your balcony is a bit smaller, I can make my living room bigger also. But again, if the balcony is big, does it come at the expense of something else in the house? In this instance, not so much. Because if you look at the common bedroom space, they are all pretty sizable. So all can comfortably put in a queen size bed. To me, this looks like a 9 to 9.5 square meters. The bedroom number 2 also very sizable, and the master bedroom also much bigger. So all these are very key important points when people look for a house, especially those with family. They look at these pointers, and if it kind of fits the requirements, then naturally they are willing to pay a little bit more of a premium. And that's why it shows that although a property can be side by side, left and right hand side, Queen's Peak versus Commonwealth Tower, that gives you the answer as to why Queen's Peak hasn't been performing as well as they would like it to be. And actually the answer lies not in the convenience, not in the location, it's actually in the layout. Okay, so back to the quality circle, I have covered number 1 is the land size versus the facade. Number 2, the layout. There are 2 other things I'm not too crazy about, and that is location, MRT, and amenities. I've said this many times. Although it's good to be beside MRT, it's good to be beside all the amenities, but it doesn't mean that all properties beside the MRT or beside something makes money. And it doesn't also mean that if you're far away from MRT or amenities, you also don't make money. So that to me, it's a plus point, but not a deal breaker, because developers also will know how to price that in. So what are we here for today is to really walk you guys through 3 different layouts that I'm going to show you guys in a Showflat. FYI, I'm not going to tell you where exactly this Showflat is located at, because as I mentioned, this is for educational purposes. This is not to say that I'm with or against a certain layout. So, but if you guys are observant enough, I think one look you know where exactly I am. Okay, so 3 layouts. Number 1, I'm going to show you one of the best layouts I have seen in the past 4 to 5 years, or at the very least. I would say, okay, let's see to say the past 10 years. And then I have 2 layouts that I'll show you that I think it's quite normal. And I want to steal one of the comments my consumers always make when I bring her to Showflat viewings or resale viewings. I always show her the unit and I'll ask her like, hey, buyer, what do you think of this layout? Then she's always like, okay lor, 就这样咯, just like that lah. Okay lor. So today, yes, our family, I'm going to steal this comment of yours. I'm going to show you guys 2 layouts that is just like that lor, 就这样 normal lah. Right, so 2 very normal layouts, 1 very, very attractive layout. So which one do we start first? I think we start first with the not so good layout one. Alright, okay, like I mean, not saying not so good layout, I think it's okay layout versus the one that, in my opinion, is one of the best in the past few years. Okay, so let's go.
Disclaimer, whatever I share does not constitute financial advice. It is solely based on my opinion on what is right or wrong. So please do your own due diligence. If you're liking the content so far, please hit the like and subscribe button, as your simple gesture will help a lot with the YouTube algorithm. If you're interested to find out more about property related matters, please find all the social media handles I am on, or you can just directly reach out to me on WhatsApp. Separately, I have also set up a Telegram group at the start of the year so that we can have a discussion that we as agents are not allowed to do so online, which is to talk shit. So if you are interested to get into a community that talks about everything under the sun about property, please scan the QR code, or for the boomers out there, I have pasted the link in my description. We're going to close the group invitation in probably a month or 2 times, so head over and I will see you there. Now back to the video.
Okay, so the first layout that we're going to check out is the 1033 square feet. As you can see here, just to orientate you guys very, very quickly before we go in. So come inside foyer here, and then come inside kitchen. Whatever you need in a house, you have it. You have a bomb shelter, you have a WC, you got a window here, living, dining room space, balcony, bedrooms one side, toilet, floor, just like that. Let's go, let's check it out. So we come in here, this is one small little walkway space, which actually for those of you guys who don't like this sort of like wasted space, you need to understand why they created this or why they created this, right? It's very simple, because some developers are very mindful about those people who are particular about like feng shui or astrology. And what they usually don't like is, actually I can technically speaking color off this area here. I have an entrance that comes in here, and then the size is smaller, and then my price is smaller. But feng shui reasons is usually people don't like that the entrance comes in straight into your living room itself. Hence, you got this small little corner here, which you can put your shoe racks, cabinet space, some nice wall features, some painting here and there, because it also creates a certain privacy. Okay. So kitchen space here, pretty nice. You got this glass, so it makes the house look much bigger than it is because this sees through, so it doesn't look so claustrophobic. Imagine here is covered up, then the effect's a little bit different. Otherwise, kitchen space, as I mentioned, whatever you need, you have it here. Pretty nice countertop space here. Okay, interesting thing is this is a sintered stone countertop. This backsplash is also provided for. Now you realize that the theme here is a bit more like Scandinavian, very cream, warm color feel. Guacoland, recent times, they always like to do those dark ones. So this one is, I'm not saying this Guacoland, but I'm saying this is the other different theme. So you come back here, is the small yard space, main toilet, bomb shelter, and then you have the washer cum dryer. Yeah lor, so it's normal to 这样咯, like that lor. Like that lor, right? Normal lah, right? So this is your first normal layout. And then when you come in here is the living dining room space. This is the typical portrait layout. Living here, you can segregate nicely the dining spot here. Actually, technically speaking, portrait layout, the space is, I always share my clients, is more than a landscape layout, but visually it looks a little bit smaller. Now this width here is 3 meters wide, which is which is okay. Then balcony space here is decent enough. You do some zip track, you open a sliding balcony door here, which either should end here or should end here, and then this becomes like part of your outdoor space if you know how to utilize it well. But yeah, the flooring here is quite nice. This, if I'm not wrong, is 1002 by 1002. Very warm color feel. But of course, do take note that all these are not provided for. Anyway, this is not what we are here after for, right? So finishing to me is, you have very atas finishing, no big deal because sometimes there's something money can change. But if your layout is done wrongly or not so nice, then there's something money cannot change. So yeah, so just focus on layout, okay? So bedroom space here is 9.1 square meters. You can comfortably put in a queen size bed, and then you have 2 corner tables on the left and right hand side. So of course, developers don't typically showcase every room to have a queen size because that would be damn boring. So they will share with you like, hey, maybe this is how you can do your study corner. Ceiling height here, it's like about, I think, normal 2.8, 2.9 meters. Okay, so you have a walkway, all rooms one side. Bedroom number 2, this is obviously trying to illustrate to you how your kids can have this room to him or herself. You can, I don't know how to climb up, but yeah, so the idea is to climb up, downstairs below can be the study corner. But all the rooms are the same size, which is about close to 9.1 square meter comfortably. Or can comfortably put in queen size bed, 9.1 square meter. This is another illustration of what the developers want you to see. Then come into the toilet. Yeah, not bad lah. This one not bad. Like quite nice. And then you have this wall piece here. Very warm color, not too dark. I like it. But is this extraordinary or it's nicer than usual? No, just like that. Right, so coming into the master bedroom itself, this is a king size bed. If you don't need such a big space, of course you do a queen size bed, you can even tuck it one corner and you can have like a sofa or massage chair on one side. But other than that, this is about what you come to expect for a master bedroom, especially of a 1033 square feet size. And then usual sliding lah, because sliding means that you don't need to in too much of your space here. You can always tuck your bed all the way here. You don't need to factor in that if you open up your wardrobe door, then you need to have this amount of space. So sliding door actually nowadays is like in 99% of all the new developments these days. So master bathroom here, same theme, warm color, and then you have this this backsplash. Some people say a little bit China, but it looks like this kind of old school our grandparents 1980s sort of like, you know, HDB marble flooring. Show you later. Some people like it, some people don't. I personally think it's okay, but you know, yeah, like that. So this is the master bedroom. Okay, what else I think? Take note, I want to show you guys this one thing about harmonization. The good thing about harmonization is right now what you're getting is fully effective space, right? So one point that I want to highlight to you is this spot here. So this spot here, last time, those non-harmonized one, there's another panel that's protruding out. I'll show you guys later in another of the Showflat. But nowadays, it's really flush all the way. So your 9 square meters all the way to here. Walls are a little bit thinner. And yeah, so now, last time's 9 square meter and today's 9 square meter is a little bit different. And in the space, in a new launch environment where things are getting more and more smaller, every square feet counts lah. right? So yeah, so this is the master bedroom. Like that lah. This is a 3-bedroom, typical 3-bedroom premium layout. So is this a bad layout? No, it's not a bad layout. Is this a very, very good layout? No, it's not a very good layout. It's just like what my clients say, just normal, right? Can be better, can be worse, but this is like present in 90% of all the new launch 3-bedrooms in today's market. So yeah, nothing too surprising, right? So this is the 3-bedroom unit. Let's go over to the next one, which is the 5-bedroom unit. The second layout I want to show you guys is the 1,582 square feet each 5-bedroom unit. When you come in private lift lobby, you got living, dining, usual, junior ensuite one corner, rooms all one side, and then wet kitchen, so on and so forth. So let's go see. Okay, so we come into the private lift lobby. So this is not what it is. So what developer has done is they have opened this up because, of course, for Showflat purposes and safety. Imagine you open it up here, then everyone is just going to bottleneck here. So what they've done is they're trying to tell you that you can open this up if you're someone who's not so particular about privacy, because those people who have private lift lobby, usually, you want certain level of privacy. So this is what you can do. You can open it up, but the origin door is here. And coming to the living dining room space, now this looks very big, but this is just an optical illusion because developers has knocked out this wall here. So this is bedroom number, I call this bedroom number 5. So they've taken out this unit here. It gives you this very expensive feel of the living dining room space, but actually this is not. This is like a study. This is how you can illustrate it. But actually, this is only close to about 4.3 meters by close to about 6.2 meters. I think for a 5-bedroom, 4.3 meters, it's like that, right? You can have a sea facing here, sea facing, which means that you all roughly know where am I, but anyway. Yeah, we're in the West Coast. Okay, so balcony space here is okay. You see they also have done the zip track here. What they want to show you is you can zip track it down. You can push all the sliding door as per what we did for the 3-bedroom also, and then you can host your guests outside with an outdoor dining set. Otherwise, living room space and dining is okay and then you have a dry kitchen here, which to me is which is okay normal. And then coming to the kitchen area, coming inside here, it's a bit awkward space because this is like the bomb shelter. Also not too sure why the bomb shelter is here, it's not somewhere else, but bomb shelter here. Now based on dimensions and based on square footage, this kitchen is approximately 20 square meters. So 20 square meters is actually quite big. And later I'll share with you why, because the flawless layout that I'm going to share with you guys later, right? That one is 17 square meters, but that's why sometimes layout configuration can be very important, even though your space can be big. But if it's done not in the right manner, then it will feel smaller. And let me show you why. Okay, so coming here, kitchen space here, I think here is fine. Nice countertop space. Yeah, 就这样咯，就 a lot of cabinet space. But my problem is here. I don't understand why is there such a long walkway. Of course, you got washer come dryer. This walkway space is, it is what it is now. Now, of course, it's a private lift lobby, so there's always a back door here that goes to the common lift lobby. But this space here, I mean, you can put some stuff here and there, but it's not the most regular of layouts. DP box here, so you can say that, of course, this kind of 5-bedroom naturally you got a helper. You don't expect your wife to be helper, right? So helper, not nice for her to be here because you want her to have her own privacy. But most of them would say, I will just block off this corner and then maybe create some sort of ensuite here because the bomb shelter is right at the front. I know it's inhumane for people to put, like say, a helper inside a bomb shelter. I understand, but sometimes when you got no space, you got no choice. But yes, that is one of the purpose of the bomb shelter. Otherwise, you can have the small day helper's corner here, and then your storage space here. But let's check out the junior ensuite. So the junior ensuite here is 9.8 square meters. Fun fact, I always ask like architects and all, why y'all cannot just give 10 square meters or 11 square meters the bedrooms there? Then I realized I always get shot down with a very generic answer. They will always say like, it's architectural stuff, but you won't understand one. Then I'm like, okay I mean, fair enough maybe I won't understand. But I always ask, hey, why all your bedroom sizes cannot be like that minimum? This is 9.8, it's not even 10 square meters. Queen size bed, you got so much comfortable space on the left and the right hand side. Now, for those of you guys who are not so good with new launches, let me help you to illustrate what difference does it make for 10 square meters, 9 square meters, and 8 square meters, okay? So this is close to 10 square meters. If I were to say a 9 square meter, I'll just push the wall to somewhere here. Then I have to shift my queen size bed to the center, and you can have a left and a right hand side sort of a corner table. Now, if I were to talk about 8 square meter, for example. Okay, so for 8 square meter, I want to show you guys is, let's say imagine the window is here, but usually because you need to factor in curtains also, so you technically speaking cannot flush the bed to all the way to the window. Now 8 square meter, once you have a little bit of gap on the right hand side, you can only at most put one corner table. Right, so I explain again, 9 square meter, left and right hand side, corner table. Okay, for 8 square meter, only one side can put a corner table. You see, understand? Right, so 7 square meter means what? 7 square meter means don't buy a property here, because it's very hard to sell. Because you cannot even put in a queen size bed. Well, you can, technically speaking, put a queen size bed, but you are literally sitting on the bed when you open your wardrobe. So that's why 7 square meter usually units are nowadays, when developers are really trying to shrink things down, I think they still haven't reached a point of shrinking the rooms where they cannot put a queen size bed up, which is very, very important. Okay, so 7 square meter bedrooms, just avoid. Okay. So coming here to this 5th bedroom, as I mentioned, they are all similar. It's all about 9.1, 9.2 square meters. So what the developers are trying to do is like you can create an additional study because the fact remains that actually not a lot of people need 5 bedroom. Most locals, they only need 4 bedroom. Because if they need more than 4 bedrooms, usually they look for landed. And yeah, so this one can be a very nice 4 bedroom because 1,582 square feet for a 4 bedroom is just about nice. 5 bedroom, a little bit tight. So common bathroom here, unfortunately got no window. And then I have my bedroom here, bedroom number 4. So bedroom number 4, yeah lah, like that lah, same lah. What's that I talk about? Nothing lah. So this is like super single, and then this is a study table. Okay, this is one is slightly bigger on the floor plan because I got this wasted space at the entrance area. But otherwise, yeah lor, like that lah. Very similar, queen size bed at most or super single with a study table. And then here also again don't have window. So is it a deal breaker? Yes, for some, but I think it's always good to have, especially for the 4 and 5 bedrooms, because the 4-5 bedroom buyers are usually a little bit more picky. So if you don't have it, then yeah lah, it's a bit of an issue in time to come. And then the master bedroom. Okay, this master bedroom is good lah. Sea facing, this is in the west coast area. It's not in the east. Okay, so master bedroom space, very comfortable king size bed. You can put one sofa here, TV console here, but it has this, because they know that this is the best sea facing unit, they have created this big showcase, one piece glass. These are a little bit more expensive, not practical, but it's more atas, because when you have a nice view, then yeah, this makes it like a portrait. And then you have window openings on the right hand side here. And then wardrobe space over here. Surprisingly, they cut out the bathtub, which actually a lot of people these days just don't like bathtub anymore. I also don't like bathtub. Yeah, actually 80% of people don't use bathtub nowadays, except like maybe expat tenants or like Caucasians. Locals nowadays really don't like bathtub. So we come in here, same thing, you have this backsplash here. It's a proper him and a her. Just like that lor. That's normal. Normal, right? Sorry, it's English. No lah. This is quite big. To me, this is like the only part that is nice. Everything else is like
6, 7.
Like that. Oh yeah, forgot to check whether got window. Oh yeah, got window there. Okay. So you have 1 toilet, 2 toilets got no window. I think my junior ensuite also got no window. Yes, no window. So yeah, this is a 5 bedroom, 1,582 square feet. But certain things have been done better. Yes, actually I still don't know how to reconfigure this to be better. Anyway, it's only 1,582 square feet. I think the kitchen can be better. Balcony space, okay lor, because the living room is only 4.3 meters wide so you can't get that big balcony space. So there you have it. You have like the 1,033 square feet and the 1,582 square feet 5 bedrooms, which is to me is like 就这样咯, normal, like that lor. But are you guys ready to see one of the best layouts I have seen in the past 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years?
Yes!
Let's go, okay? Okay, this is the best layout that you will see, I think, in the future also. So why are this kind of layout thing very important? Because this kind of 5-bedroom unit, by the way, is 2131 square feet. Why is it very important is because can you imagine in the future, by the way, developers already built very little 5 bedrooms by default. So in the future, when you want to sell it, and because the layout are so good, can you imagine from consumer point of view, right? If you have something that most people buy for own use and the layout is so good, then your natural question you ask yourself is, if I sell already, where do I go from there? Nothing. It's only landed ma. So this is like based on condo segment, probably the best you can find. And those who want to stay in a condo, they just naturally want to stay put here. They naturally want to stay put. They won't want to rent it out. They won't want to sell it. Then naturally your price will just keep going up and up and up. So layouts are very important, and as I mentioned, this is one of the best I've seen. Well, let's go. Okay, so 5 bedrooms typically comes with a private lift. Why is that so? I know some of you guys who are a little bit more particular about like wasted space. You may think that a private lift is a bit waste of space. Yes, if you don't enjoy it, but once you hit a certain price range of let's say $4 to $5 million and higher, then it's not that sus. Because some people think it's a very sus thing, but once you have that money, you want a certain level of privacy, then a private lift gives you that, because you imagine you own $4 to $5 million and you squeeze in the common lift lobby. Yes, it's not elitism, but you have to understand developers have to take into consideration what works for the target audience, right? So coming to the living room space, guys, this is what I'm trying to say. This is close to 6.5 meters by 5 meters wide. By the way, 6.5 meters, it's already close to a width of a terrace house already. So can you see how big this living room and dining room space is? Now, because the fun thing about landscape layout is usually parallel to the living room, so you notice the balcony space is also usually equally as big. Now, sometimes balcony space is big, it's wide, but it needs to be long enough. In this case, this is good enough for you to have a proper 6-8-seater dining space. All you need to do is you need to just deck this up here, and then because there's sliding aluminum door, right? So you slide it either on the left-hand side or on the right hand side, either all on the one side, or you can open to the left and right hand side. And what you have is you can just build in those zip track. Of course, you can spend a bit more money to have that one panel on the left and the right hand side. If you want to save a bit money, you have this ugly panel right in the middle. But I would usually advise my clients just go for the more expensive ones so that you can create an extension of the living room space. So once you have your outdoor dining set, then actually technically speaking, this dining area can be purely entertainment purposes lah. You can push by your sofa, you can have a bigger TV, you can just do more stuff. So that's the beauty about landscape layout, especially of this size. So yeah, as I mentioned to you, I've also seen quite a fair bit of 2,100 square feet or 2,000 square feet whereby the layouts are on paper, the space is big, but the layout is also not done too nicely up. But this one's very nice, top. Okay, so on this left-hand side is the junior master. Now, this junior master, come on guys, this is a king-size bed, right? King-size bed, still got so much space here. Can you guess what square meter this room space is? This is not 11, this is not 12, this is not 13, this is not 14. This is 15 square meter, guys. This is like your typical master bedroom space. With this even much bigger than all the other 3 or 4 bedroom master space in other projects itself. So king size bed, and you still got so much more space here. You can put a study corner here. You can shift this here. You can just do a lot of things. And that's why space is very important. And this one appeals to a certain target audience. This spot is really perfect for parents-in-law, which you all want to stay together, but you still want to avoid them somehow. Then yeah, this is the corner lah. This is the toilet. Unfortunately, this is the junior ensuite toilet. Unfortunately, there is no window here, but pretty much sizable lah. The key thing here is the bedroom space. It's full. I don't think you have seen 15 square meter junior ensuite in a while. This is the common toilet space. Common toilet space. Again, unfortunately, got no window. Could have been better. And then you come in here, it's bedroom number 4. Big, right? So this is obviously a princess room. Now I'll show you guys this one thing here now that I just now mentioned something about harmonized. Now this is a pre-harmonized layout, which means that you get this sort of panel here. It's part of your square footage, but it's just, there's nothing you can do about it. Just a big space. So a little bit wasted of space, but this space is still big. So this panel here is the only possible flaw that I can pick up on this layout. Yep. Very good space. You can put a queen size bed, you can put a king size bed, also not an issue. Bedroom number 3. FYI, this is 11 square meters, right? 11 square meter means you can put a queen size bed very comfortably corner tables on the left and right hand side. If you're willing to shift this a bit to the left hand side to make sure that you have a bit of curtain space on this corner, then you can have a proper study here, which for most new launches these days, you don't have that luxury. Even though when you go to a very luxurious projects like, say for example, the Orchard area, those atas projects in River Valley or whatever it is, they don't give you anything like this. And that's something I always question developers or question the architects out there is, if you're trying to sell a very luxe project, this is what you should be giving to consumers. And then in time to come, the value will be there now. And it's so easier to sell. Can you imagine come inside, people see the room space here, sold man, sold, right? Come. So because at the start there, we got one junior ensuite, this is the other junior ensuite. Let's call it the junior ensuite 2. So the only thing, so maybe the second flaw about this layout is this small little walkway space, which is quite wasted. Nothing much you can do here because you cannot create much cabinet space, otherwise it's a bit too tight. Yeah, it's a dead corner now. Otherwise, coming inside here, this is, if I take away that space there, this should be approximately 12 square meters. Still very comfortable. And then the toilets here, toilets okay though. But like I said, this kind of toilet things, if finishing is not up to standard, it's something that I can spend money to change. There are something I cannot. So if you don't like it, you can change it. You got a nice, at least this one got a window. This is the second junior ensuite. And then coming to the master bedroom. Dude, check this out, dude. Big, right? I mean, so really big, right? Huh? That's why I'm asking you money, bro. Big, right? So people always like, asking my editor, big, right? Yeah, so you have king size bed, so much space on that side here. It can be your study table. Just a lot of things you can do in this bedroom because it's very, very big. It's a huge space. Because one thing, you don't see the wardrobe here. Usually most units, it's the wardrobes are here or somewhere. But here you can even create another panel of wardrobes if you want to, because the wardrobe space is here. Check this out, my friends. This will be given. This is the cabinet space. You have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I know ladies not enough, but it is minimum. I think it's okay. Then of course you can create more on the side there as I mentioned. All here, all usable space. You can even have something like a centerpiece here. You can have a chair where you can sit down and you can prepare yourself. That's the fun thing. That's the cool thing of having big space. Then over here you have a him and a her with all this gold color trimming. Now fun thing is, when I first saw this layout, I would expect at least a bathtub, because when you cater to the high net worth people, then some of them really do enjoy the bathtub. But over here, we don't, but we have something very, very interesting because, and I haven't seen this in any other launches so far, or near thing. Yeah, I don't want to sit down, I'm scared I'll break this. But this is a steam shower. Yeah, steam shower. I'm not too sure who, any one of you guys would use this not, but this is a steam shower. Those that's usually only available in the facilities, like sauna and that. Of course, you got a window here, you got a nice little WC. But yeah, this is a very, very good master bedroom space. You have the wardrobe one side, and of course you have the living room space here. Okay, so I guess the guy already left the kitchen, so let's check out the kitchen. So this space here is a dead corner, it's an open area. You can create something like this, like what the developers have done. And then this is your dry kitchen space. So just now you saw the 1583 square feet, the dry kitchen space. I think it's just like, they put it there just for the sake of it. But this one has a real purpose in them building it, right? So you have this nice L-shaped dry kitchen. All this will be given. All these are all proper cabinet space. This is where, because this space is big, so we expect a lot of people to host guests or your friends, or you even have a wine tasting session. You can prepare everything here. Then outside, as I mentioned, it's where the outdoor dining set is, and then you just enjoy life a little bit. So this is the proper dry kitchen space. All these are given. Of course, you got a washing tab here, and this is the powder room. So powder room is an additional toilet space. Your guests will be likely using this because there's a lot of toilets here, and they are mainly ensuite. So this is very, very handy. And you remember just now I mentioned to you that 1582 square feet, 5 bedrooms, right? The kitchen space is close to about 20 square meters. This is smaller, 17 square meters, but this is what I'm trying to share with you. If you do something proper and configurations are right, it doesn't matter whether the square foot is smaller or not, it looks much bigger. Okay, so check it out. This is one proper rectangular space. There's no weird walkway space going to the back door. This is very open, right? So you have all the usual stuff here. You have one very big fridge. And you have the washer and dryer. You got a window here. There's one void space here which I do not know what you can do about this, but there is a dishwasher switch. So dishwasher, you see dishwasher here, bro. See, whatever you need in a large floor plate, you have it here. Dishwasher, bro. Where got people provide dishwasher nowadays? Oh, this area here, what can I do? I don't know. Just put whatever additional machine, whatever you want to do lah. More cabinet space. The appliances, as I mentioned, is melee. Not that big a deal now. Now this door here is the door that opens up to the common lift lobby because it's a private lift. Now I want to highlight this one thing, okay? Because this one is something that I really feel that for the first time, a developer has really given good thoughts as to how to build you something for their intended target audience, okay? And because this is a 5-bedroom, everything here is very big. So naturally, you confirm more or less will have a helper one. As I mentioned, don't let your wife be a helper. So when you have a helper, usually the biggest struggle is where do they sleep? In this case, there's only a few developers I've seen so far that has built you both of it, right? And this is bomb shelter and a storage place. Okay? Most developers these days build you either or. They give you either a bomb shelter or a storage place. In this case, you have a bomb shelter and a storage place. So you can see here, this really can be the helper's room area. And this is where you store all your barang-barang. In this case here, they put a bed here, but yeah, you do it the other way. This one all helper's room and then storage space here. So this area here really is the yard area working space, which is very spacious. Visually, it's quite big. You don't need that kind of long walkway that we saw in the previous layout. So everything is fully usable here. You don't feel like very claustrophobic. You feel that you can do a lot of things in this kitchen as well. And of course, you got the DB box here. So yeah, this is, to me, a standard in terms of configuration and kitchen space, because don't forget, you still got your dry kitchen outside there. Then you have this chiller here. Can you imagine here? I think if you look carefully, you can't really spot a flaw while this layout, except, like I said, maybe that dead corner space, that harmonization thing. And then one of the bedrooms, the walkway is a bit long, but other than that, bro, this is like the best you can find. And as I mentioned, this is the best I've seen in quite some time. Do we have something bigger than this? Of course there is. You have like 21 Anderson building you bigger stuff, but those are like 4,000 odd square feet. So naturally the price all 20 million, $21 million. This is somewhere around 5 million-ish, right? So 5 million-ish, it is still within the palatable quantum. I know some of you guys also may ask or may comment this one thing. Hey, $5 million you must well buy landed, right? Which is a fair point to make. To me, honestly speaking, from a value perspective, at the price range of 5, I would squeeze my ass for Interterrace at the very least. But you have to understand, not everyone wants to live in a landed property. Like myself, I own a landed property, but will I ever stay in a landed property? The answer is 90% I will not stay in one. So this one really to cater to someone who really do not want to stay in landed property for God knows what reason. Some of them, I know some clients absolutely will not stay in landed because of they're afraid of pests. So that's one strong point at it. So this unit type really caters to the group of people who has the money, but they really do not want to stay landed properties. This is the best you can find. So imagine I can tell you this is what's likely going to happen. Most of the owners here, when they buy this unit, they're going to stay here for long. They really hardly would want to sell, because when you sell already, where do you go from there? You don't want to go to landed. You only go to a penthouse. This is one of the best you can find. Bedrooms all 11 square meter, junior ensuite 15 square meters, master bedroom super big. You cannot find in any other parts of Singapore, even in the central core region where you think there's supposed to be more atas, but the units there are still quite small also. So yeah, to squash the debate about at this price range, should we go for a landed? Yes and no. But this one really is the perfect layout for a family size of 4 or 5. Maybe parents residing overseas, they want to come here to like stay for a few months. This is the perfect layout. So there you have 3 very different, okay, I would say 3 very different layouts. 2 very similar layouts. 2 of the layouts where I would deem it as normal, like that, like my client said. It's like present in 90% of the new launches out there. There's nothing special about it, but there's nothing bad about it. It's just like that. But we have seen one of the best layouts I've seen, and I can, or rather I dare to tell you that this unit type in the future, you hardly will see available for sale. Now, property sometimes is very, very simple. If the unit is hardly available for sale, which I also did in one of my videos, Sovereign, right? Sovereign, although the price tag is very high, and you all may argue, say, I can buy a semi-detached, but there are some people, as I mentioned, who don't want to stay at landed properties. Then Sovereign at Mayor Road is performing much better than most of the new launches in that entire neighborhood itself. So I use the example of Sovereign, because Sovereign stuff, it's, as I mentioned, very big. It's very old, but the value is still there because a lot of people are buying for own use. They will struggle to find replacement homes, so very seldom they will sell. So when you have a layout like this that it's high in demand, but very few owners want to sell, then naturally I dare to say that the price will appreciate in time to come, even though the price tag can be quite heavy. So yes, when we look for properties, besides pricing, of course pricing has to be right, exit strategy has to be good also, but the quality circle is what people tend to neglect as much as they shouldn't be. So today is really for me to share with you guys what a very, very good layout is. And if you got a good layout, eventually you look at all the other projects in the past, usually it associates closely with very good land size, facility and facade, and very good layout. I also seen in certain instances whereby the layout is so good, but the land size is a bit small, yet it still performed very well. So as I mentioned, layout is the soul of a property. I also have examples whereby the layout is also not very good, but if the qualities in land size, facilities and facade, exit strategy more than makes up for it, the shortfall, then it also can perform well. And the example is Dilidan itself, right? Dilidan is very nice, but the rooms are a bit odd. But I want to share with you this one thing: if the rooms are odd, it's okay for some people if you can at least fit in whatever you need to fit in. If it's odd and it's very small, then it's just very hard to sell, which means that your exit will be an issue also. So yeah, layout is very, very important as much as price and exit strategy is. Land size, facilities and facade is. So when you go out shopping for houses next time, watch out carefully for layouts. You may think it doesn't affect you, but when you want to exit in the future, always position yourself from a buyer perspective, because when it goes to resale market, I can tell you, they always step inside the condo. It's very nice. They'll go and see the layout. If the layout is no good, then naturally your price will not appreciate as much as you want it to be. Okay? So until our next video, where likely I think by time I should be going back to our studio to do another new launch review. If there's any other things that you guys want me to talk about that is a bit different from the rest, you can always comment in the comment section. Otherwise, until our next video, which is in the studio, I hope I reduced my Singlish quite some bit. I think I did by close to 80-90%. I'll see you guys in the next video.